So the recording is on.
Okay, great. So welcome to July community update of LikeCoin. Myself, I'm Phoebe, your host today. I'm from the LikeCoin team. So as mentioned, we have quite a lot to cover today, a very exciting month for us. Um, I will first go through some of the product from the LikeCoin team, and then we'll go through a chain upgrade procedure later on by Chong. Hopefully, we can cover it in 25 minutes. And then lastly, we can wrap up with the LikeCoin grand update. So first of all, we have a new listing on centralized exchange last week on johnb.com. They are also one of our validator right now, which they are quite interested in getting into the LikeCoin ecosystem, and hence they also sell their node as an validator. So I think it's a good news for all token holders, and we'll continue to work on this kind of partnership with no matter it's centralized exchange or decentralized exchange. We have been exploring and keeping our eyes on for this kind of opportunities. And secondly, we do have a LikeLand revamp update, I think just a couple of weeks ago. If you did pay attention to our newsletter or you have updated your app in the App Store. So the new UI actually looks like this. If you haven't opened your apps lately, feel free to update it and play around with it. Because this will be our major revamp and wrap up the LikeLand project for at least for the next quarter before we switch our focus to ISCN. So feel free to check it out. We have a new reading list preview. We also have a revamped LikeCoin button UI in the app, as well as the wallet is now your landing page on the wallet. So do check it out for the LikeCoin app if you haven't. And thirdly, we update our documentation page and ISCN page in preparation for the ISCN launch, especially on the developer resources. Very thankful to William, who spent some time on updating documentation. If you do had time to play around with or visit .like.co, it actually look like this right now. Also get help from Daisy, that she constantly maintaining this page for us, especially on the FAQ side. So please do go check it out. And if you do need a copyright about LikeCoin, you can basically find out here. There's also a Chinese version where we can serve Chinese users on the latest copywriting of LikeCoin as decentralized publishing. So there's a lot of effort. And ISCN, we have also updated latest data model of ISCN. That's a little bit more technical. If you are interested, you can also check this out on iscn.io and also the GitHub page for ISCN. So these 3 pages are now up to date, and this will be an ongoing effort for us. If you find any typo, things that you think is missing, please do let us know in Discord. I think in general, a channel or the ISCN related channel, we will pick up those comments and add it to the documentation page. And fourth, it is carried from the last community meeting actually. But I would like to remind everyone that we do have a stake.like.co where you can manage your LikeCoin right now. If you missed last month's community meeting and you're not aware of this, please also do check it out, where you can now use the Kepler wallet to manage your LikeCoin. It is quite important because in the later development of LikeCoin users, you will be able to use a lot of Kepler wallet to log into your Like ID, for example, or even to log in just to manage your LikeCoin. So this will be quite important for our users to know there is such feature right now for all token holder. And then next is if you are aware of what's happening in Hong Kong, or what's been the discussion around media in Hong Kong, a lot of people are paying attention to how blockchain could help with publishing. And for us, we also are in touch with Rwave and IPFS on the decentralized storage part for LikeCoin. So if you do know, ISCN have involved of two parts. The first part is the metadata registry, and the second part is the storage part. And we have been exploring with these two partners on how we can work tighter together and how we can beneficial to each other. So there are a lot of discussion that have been going on. And basically that's it from my side of update. And to wrap up the team quick update, I have Joshua here today to show you something very exciting. It's actually the ISCN app that you will see on like.co once it is launched. He have been dedicating a lot of time designing the product and how user will interact with ISCN once it's launched. So he will walk you through the UI right now. And before I pass the mic to Joshua, please do feel free to ask questions in the message. And hopefully we have time for FAQ, but if not, we'll carry on those questions on Discord, and I will try to answer those questions in the message. So please don't be shy if you have questions. And Joshua, please.
Hi, everyone. I'm Joshua, designer of the LikeCoin team. And here I will show you the ISCN demo site, which we decided to mainly two things: to view ISCN and to upload and register ISCN yourself. And before we start, I want to recap a little bit.
I haven't seen your screen.
Yeah, I just showing. Before we start, I would like to show you, recap a little bit of what is ISCN object. An ISCN object is what you upload to the ISCN registry. And it basically an object is pointing to a file on IPFS or Rwave. No matter if it's a JPEG, movie, or text, or whatever it is, just pointing it. And another important is metadata. For example, some metadata you will timestamp the title, the description, etc., etc. So an ISCN object simply is a ID, just like a hash, and is pointing to a file and then having some metadata. So in the beginning, we think, how can we display this? Because if it is a image, then it's easier, because visually you can recognize different image. But for text, for other weird or extreme file formats, we cannot show, or we just recognize by a hash, a ISCN ID. So what we do is make a ISCN object a card-like, and it has a few elements. The one key element is a QR code, which no matter you print your ISCN object, or you share by JPEG, or you share by screen cap, you can scan the ISCN code, the QR code, and go back to the ISCN. And also the ISCN ID helps you to recognize which is which, and also the timestamp. And most interestingly, most interest is the algorithm art. We decided to use a algorithmic art for a ISCN object, which is the card you're seeing. And the thing is, we are not yet explore what algorithm or what it is look like at the end. But we hope we can do it as different as possible for different ISCN. For example, if we have an image, we have a text, we have videos, we have different ISCN object. Hopefully, we can do it different enough to help user, to help everyone to recognize which is which. For example, if you have the 10 meg and then a very popular image and a very popular ISCN, then everybody can recognize it. Oh, this is some important image. I recognize the shape, I recognize the color, and we hope to achieve that. So again, we are not yet to explore what kind of algorithm we are going to use and what the end will look like. If anyone here have explored algorithmic art or something similar to that, please very welcome to contact our development team, because we are very soon to try to explore this field. And that's it for a ISCN object. And now we go to the prototype. In this tools, you can see there's a search bar here and a few tips. And before we start, because this is a decentralized site, so we can use the Kepler to log in. Oops. Hey. So we connect to our Kepler and approve, then we log in. Because of this prototype limited, I can change the type. The stated here, at the end, it will show your address here. That's it. And for example, if you have a ISCN ID, you can type here and search. And then you go to the ISCN page. Here is the ISCN object again. You can view it, you can share it, and then if this is a image, you can have a preview with it. We will grab what can preview what is possibly for the preview, but with is a real file can't recognize. Anyway, and then there's other metadata grabbed from the file. For example, it's an image. We can see if we can grab the exposure structure, and something is the uploader edit is ISCN title, description, and the URL license. And how can we register an ISCN? And we will see right now. To start with a file, you can drag here or select a file, and then you can view what we grabbing from the file. And first, we have to publish to Ipfs first. Okay. In this stage, your file is published to Ipfs, and then after it's uploaded, you can start review and edit the metadata. For example, here, you can edit the ISCN title, the description, and also add some tag and URL and whatever you need. And when you are done, you can register here. Because we need some LikeCoin to use the fee for ISCN and LikeCoin train transaction fee, then you have to have some LikeCoin and then approve. After the block confirm, then you will successfully publish your ISCN object. And there's the second tab. You can view all the published ISCN you have. And for now, this is what the tools will do. Thank you.
Will the community have the link later, or?
We put the link in the update today, I think.
Okay.
And I can share right now. Just a moment, I will share in the chat.
Yeah, I think the update. So yeah, please feel free to send your questions in the chat. In the meantime, just want you guys to know the design will be updated quite frequently. I guess that will be going through a lot of discussion internally, so that will not be the final version of what you see. So I think Sixwood had questions regarding the ISCN design. In what scenario does the ISCN art or QR code can be used? User are expected to use it like a name card for that piece of content. Maybe Q can share a little bit of your thoughts.
For we are not very sure which scenario will you print or will you share a physical ISCN object. Just the most QR code we'll use, and perhaps maybe you share a screen cap, or you just, because I think it's as a person, some people just don't like to share a exact link or exact text. They just screen cap and then share it, and something like that. And we want to have, we expect to explore more for what ISCN in what scenario they will use a different thing. But as a start, we designed to use the algorithm art and the QR code itself. And for the algo art, I think it's very clear, because if, as I said, if an image, you can recognize it for just instant. But this is a difference. It's a text or even a image itself. Like I have a image of a apple, and then somebody like Phoebe also copy my image, and just say it is her. So she has a exact same image, but in the ISCN view, there is a different hash. So the algorithmic image will be different. So just from the, you can view from the ISCN, this is the two different ISCN object. Even it's the same pixel art. I don't know, I have answered all your questions, but this is what I'm thinking.
Okay, thank you, Joshua. Yes, it is quite interesting and exciting. Maybe we can discuss further in Discord for comments. And so up next, we will go through the more technical part of the LikeCoin updates. And before that, let me also share my screen. Sorry. Yep. Okay. Before I bring up Chong here to share about the LikeCoin chain update, I want to quickly go through some key numbers that we have for the past 2 weeks. Number of addresses, transactions are making a progressive growth, and steady growth for the chain activity. And in fact, if you are keen to find out all the LikeCoin chain key numbers, you can follow our Medium page for a progress update every 2 weeks. So this is just my my intro of the LikeCoin chain. So now I will pass the mic to Chong for what's next for the chain update, and that's something he has been working really hard and us internally for the past few months. So pause for Chong.
Okay, thank you, Phoebe. As we mentioned before, as we mentioned in the previous community meeting for June, at the beginning of June, we did an internal testing at the end of May. Unfortunately, that internal testing was failed, and then we found some critical both bugs in software and also some unclear things in the procedure. So we fixed. So in the past month, in June, we fixed the bugs in the software, and we also refined the procedure. So add some scripts to make it smoother for validators for others to follow. So in last week we did another internal testnet, and this time we have successfully go through the whole procedure, and then successfully ran the upgrade and see blocks producing on the new network. And so this is the new document that we use for the internal testnet, and which would also be basically this, more or less the same procedure for the public testnet. So I will go through it. The link is also shared in the chat, but note that the parameters like the chain ID, the Genesis file will be different for the public testnet, and we still need some refined. Say maybe the prerequisite, we will have some refine on that. But I'll go through it. So you will have a general knowledge on that, on what would be going on, what would be the procedure like. So we'll have the procedure is to first set up a node with the Strand1 software, which is basically the same as joining as a validator on the current mainnet. And then after enough validator has joined the network, will raise a proposal and vote on that for initiating a chain upgrade. And then at the time determined in the proposal, we will actually run the upgrade and have a video conference in real time, so that we know we can discuss what the issues in the upgrade. So first, here are some. We'll have some parameters on both the Strand1 software chain for the testnet, say Genesis file and seed node, and also say the exact commit number on for both the softwares for the testnet, which we will determine these parameters for the public testnet in this week. And the first part is to set up a node for the Strand1 software, which is basically the same procedure on for current validators to set up a validator node for the mainnet. So it's basically running scripts, downloading the software, and then running scripts using Docker and Docker Compose. So these are basically the same, and then wait for synchronizing the node and then create the validator. We did add some scripts for smoother integration. So, but the basic idea are the same: to create a validator node, send transactions on the chain to become a validator. And then after enough validator has joined the testnet, we will initiate proposal for the upgrade. In this proposal, we will determine the necessary parameters, like the parameters for the new ISCN module, the time for the upgrade, and also the new chain ID, so that we'll have consensus on these parameters. And then after voting, we wait until the hold time, which is the time of the upgrade, and then we run the upgrade procedure. The upgrade procedure is basically turning down the node, back up the private keys and config files from the old chain, exporting the old chain's application stage, and then check out to the new software, and also migrate to the new software, migrate the old chain stage to the new chain's Genesis stage, and then use these stage and also the keys to start up the to start up a node of the new chain. So you can see the procedure is a little bit complicated, and there could be some issues happening. So we need to run a real-time communication, like a conference like now, so that validators can discuss and have feedbacks on any issues that we have on the procedure. So if everything goes on smoothly, then we will have the new chain up at the time that we discussed during the upgrade. As you can see, this is a step-by-step procedure, and what we found by experience in the internal testnet is that if we just have some step-by-step procedure without participants knowing why we are doing or what we are doing, then it would be quite hard to coordinate people, because just following it could go wrong if you just follow the instructions, say wrongly copying the commands, and then if you don't know what is going on, then you don't know that the command is wrong. So we'll write another document for explaining why we are doing this or what we want to achieve, as a brief introduction in addition to this procedure documents. And we also need some refine on this document. So we will be able to, we think we will be able to finish all these refinement and then have the public testnet online setup, have seed nodes and initial validator setup within this week. So after setting up the documents and also the initial seed node, we'll send it, announce it on Discord. So I hope all validators can join the testnet and also read the documents and explanations, so that we can have a smooth experience during the upgrade. So, right? Also, okay.
Yeah, I have two questions.
Yes.
First is, previously we have testnet type A. Is this no longer useful? If you are asking us to send to the new testnet.
I know that our development team is using the Type A testnet for some prototype, but after the new testnet, I think we will move on to the new testnet. So it's actually because the Type A testnet is not very active, so we think that we can't reuse it. We use that for the public testnet. So we have a new public testnet. So yeah, it will be deprecated.
No problem. Then I shut down the log to save money. And another question is, I think many of the as I am planning to also upgrade the OS and the machine and the software beside the change of it. So my question is, if I want to when we doing the change upgrade, and I want to do the OS upgrade altogether. That means most likely I will put up a new machine, the new OS versions, and then try to put the new software there. Okay, so do you have any pointer or what kind of data I need to copy over, or you suggest me to first to sync up the new computer first before the testnet?
So if I get it correctly, you're saying that during the upgrade, you will utilize that downtime to do also the OS upgrade.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a good point, and I think it's I think let's see. In between, we will during the whole procedure, we'll copy the some config files, the address book, and a few node key, private keys in the node. We'll back up it and then re-import it to the new chain, to the new chain node. And we will also export the old chain software, old chain application state, and then migrate it as a new chain state. So the state itself will be a Genesis file, which is a JSON file. So so for breaking up the new chain, these are the only file that you needed from the old node. So it's possible that after you copy this file, you back up this file and then set up a new node, new platform or new machine, and then re-import this file and then continue the whole process on. But you will need Docker and also the Docker image. So you would maybe you need to hurry up for building the image or downloading the image. But
So
there's a
I mean,
chance.
yes. So what I just heard is basically the old change data is not really useful. The Genesis file is.
There's a chance that the upgrade failed. Say coordination, the coordination between validators has been broken, or we don't have consensus on using which Genesis file. These kind of, or we discovered bugs in the software during the upgrade. That actually happened before in Cosmos Hub upgrade. So in these kind of scenario, we will need to use the old chain data and then start up the old chain again, to fall back to the old chain, indicating an upgrade failed. So we would need to preserve the old chain data in that case.
Okay, so thank you. So I think the next step for us will be first to set the test step. No first. Okay.
Any questions for Chong? Well, I'm waiting questions. That will be. I'll recap a little bit on next steps. So thank you, Rick, for reminding us. Okay. First of all, please do go read the documentation that Chong just released. There will be some preparation you can do, which is update your software, etc. And then we shall release the date and time on Discord next week. So do pay attention on Discord. And we'll try to ping every validator that we know already in the chat. And I see there is a follow-up questions. Chong, can you go ahead? And
about the upgrade time, I think it's about it's talking about the hold time. So the time from we hold the chain to the time that we really can start up the upgrade. That's hard to answer because it depends on the validator's progress. This is after the hold time, we will need to have a conference and then discuss and then have real-time synchronization on the progress of each other. So if most of us can finish it, then after most of us finish most of the upgrade procedure, then we can discuss that maybe we start up the node 1 hour later or 30 minutes later, and then we have consensus on that. And in our experience, we have a few team members, I think it's eight validators in our internal testnet, and we took about an hour to finish it. And then during the Cosmos Hub upgrade to the Stargate software, I think it took quite a few hours. I think it's around 8 hours or even longer, but they have 125 validators, so they need more time to coordinate. So I think it would be a few hours as my best estimation for now.
Okay, I'm Hagen. Can
yes.
I ask a question?
Yes.
Yes. Actually, our on our side, the person who's in charge of for the server, Koala, he will be very busy developing the Hong Kong Open Source Conference website. And you might know that the conference will be at 17th of this month. So before that time, we actually may not able to do um, the migration. So is it okay, or will it be a time earlier than this?
I think for the public testnet, we will do this on for the public testnet. I think it's around that time for the testing purpose, but for the mainnet, it will definitely be later than that. And yeah, if Validator is not available on the migration, let's see, if a validator failed to do the migration, then he won't appear on the new chain, and then he will be considered as in a downtime during the whole process. But and then just like when you turn down the node on the new on the current chain, and then after a few hours, you'll be kicked out from the active validator list, and then because you need to unjail the validator. So that's the consequence if you cannot join the process of upgrading the new chain.
Just to give a clarification on this, Hagen. So the steps and timeline that we said are going to happen next week is on the testnet upgrade procedures. So that's basically is a testing environment where we want to prepare all validators before we go on mainnet. So I do believe you can catch on the timeline on mainnet migration, which will be happen perhaps later in July or early August. So I think you'll be fine.
Okay, thank you. Yes, and we actually we've been kicked out before, and I'm aware of the procedures. Thank you.
So you might just need to read more carefully on the documentation, and I do think we'll have a lot of learning through this public testnet. So I think you can get help from other validators. But just to clarify a little bit on the testnet and the mainnet timeline.
Yeah, I also see that someone asked how long is the period for the validators to do the upgrade. The answer is that it depends on it's actually quite a dynamic process. So there's no hard limit on the time. But yeah, if it takes more than a few hours, then it will probably fail. Say if I say that it takes 3 to 4 days, not non-stop, then you won't be able to finish it. So yeah, it's a dynamic process, and we discussed that during the hold time, according to our progress.
So yeah, I think we'll come up with more information in a blog style regarding some the FAQ to some answers and how we should coordinate the upgrade. So today is just a basically kickoff and introduction of what's going on the chain upgrade. So a little bit run out of time, but we have about a minute for Kim to just wrap up today's meeting on the grand side of LikeCoin.
Okay, thank you. I'll try to finish in a minute. I just sent a link to the Lawson page of the LikeCoin grants. So last month has been fruitful that we have 3 more proposals approved, which is in the page. I'm not sharing it because I'm running out of time. Number 3, which is Hong Kong Daily Snapshot magazine. The name is kind of casual. It's an iPhone app for people to take pictures And then what's special is that the image will be checked into LikeCoin chain as an ISCN and the image to IPFS or RWave, so that it's like an on-chain content. It's like on-chain content production. It's very hard for people to modify the image before they, after they take the image and before they check in the image to the blockchain, which means the image is very trustworthy for civic journalists. That's one project. And then the second one is pretty straightforward, which is like Matters billboard. It's a panel. It's a panel made by, I believe, Google data house, which shows the basic data of matters in one single page. And then we also have LO1, which is like academy, which is to make one video to explain what ISCN is. So there are 3 approved proposals last month. That's it.
Thank you, Keen. I shared the screen for you, so cool. Thank you everyone for your time today. Let's keep in touch on Discord, and we'll try to keep all the links there for those who missed. Do check out the progress update on Medium, and as well as today's minutes will be available on Medium too. Thank you everyone. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.